Hi, I'm Chelsea Berg, Interim Senior Director for the Sacramento Heart and Stroke Walk.
Hi, I'm Genevieve Hartsock, Sacramento Heart and Stroke Walk Director.
And today we want to share a little bit with you about our business partner campaign. So this was a brand new campaign for the Sacramento market. Our chair this year is Rob Lynch. He's the CEO and President of VSP Global. And this is really the first year that Rob's been involved with the American Heart Association. And so the way this campaign started is even before we started talking to Rob about it, we made sure it was included in the chair job description. So he knew coming on board it was an expectation. And one way we really set the stage and got him to think big about this campaign was to show case studies from other markets, primarily Philadelphia. So he knew that 6 figures was achievable, possible. We really got him thinking big right from the start. The other reason it was important for him to think big is that he had a big goal this year as the chair. We asked him to be the first time Sacramento's event has ever reached $1 million. And we really explained that this campaign would be able to close that gap, bring in the new money, so that he could get there and that $1 million could be his legacy. So the business partner campaign is really successful because of Rob Lynch, and it was called a Rob Lynch initiative from the very beginning. And so we gauged the success on the fact that they brought in nearly $200,000 new dollars, and we had 9 gifts that were $10,000 or above. So we're really excited about this. And so Rob was not the only one who worked on the business partner campaign. What he did, and I think truly this is what made the initiative successful, is he recruited an internal committee to lead the charge. So we started with 6 individuals. They came from marketing, procurement, corporate services that were appointed directly by Rob. And then from there, they helped to build the business partner list that we were going to work off of and reach out to. And that list looked like their top 100 business partners where they spent over $100,000 with them. And so these folks put together the list. They made sure it had contact information, it had the spend with the company, and then they also went so far as gauging if they thought they were a high, medium, or low prospect in terms of actually contributing to the campaign. And from there, what they also did was they tied each of those business partners to who at VSP had the best working relationship with them. And so our internal group grew from 6 to about 35. So we were a big team making this successful. From there, what they did is they also tiered that list to include what ask level we wanted to put out there. So the lowest was $5,000 and the highest was $30,000. So now that we had our list together, we had our team, so we knew who was going to make the outreach. The next step was to identify how we were actually going to communicate this messaging. So what we did is we put together a snail mail letter on letterhead from Rob Lynch himself. So it looks something like this. And we started with the snail mail letter. And we knew that the snail mail letter, more than anything, was to warm the room, and so they could see that it was coming from Rob himself. So after the snail mail letter, our next step was an email campaign. And we actually were able to work with marketing at VSP Global and use one of their tools, direct mail, so that they could send out an email. The email looked like it came from the VSP contact owner. So it had a little blurb from that person specifically saying, I really want you to participate in this Rob Lynch initiative. And then it also included the content and the signature from Rob at the bottom. So they knew it was coming from the person they have the relationship with, but it was also coming from Rob Lynch himself. And so we had a lot of success right off the bat. What we did for those who committed their support right away is we set up introductory phone calls because we know it's really important to build that relationship. We know that they said yes because of VSP, and we want to make sure they come back because they like American Heart Association. They understand our mission. So we set up phone calls so we could start exploring with them, cultivating them, getting to know them. And then we also sent them 2 letters. One letter was just from the VSP contact themselves. Even though we hand wrote it, it looked like it came from their contact, thanking them for participating. And the second letter came from us with a mission message. And so we shared baby Ruby, her story, and then on the back, we just included a thank you note from us as well. So we want to make sure we have as much touches as we can with those vendors. Over the course of the business partner campaign, we had 3 to 4 conference calls with those 6 core individuals leading the charge. And then we also would touch base weekly with the whole 35 team individually, so we could talk specifically about their vendors and where we stood.
Wonderful. So I want to talk a little bit about how we did follow-up with each of these business partners. So at first they received an actual letter from Rob. Then we followed up with an email. And then from the VSP contact, the email, and then we did a lot of follow-up over the phone and through email. And one of the key things was to always CC that VSP contact and owner, so they were consistently in the loop and we could bring them in if we needed their help. At the end of each week, we would send recap emails of where we were at with each of those business partners and really utilize our VSP contact, our volunteer owner, if we needed any help, like an additional email or a phone call. And it really helped them stay in the loop and feel included with where we were at. The final component of this campaign that we wanted to talk about was how we leveraged Rob Lynch to really keep his internal staff team motivated. We had a great team of people, and 4 times throughout the campaign, we did have Rob Lynch send out this scorecard. So what we can see here is we have several different lines of business. We can see where they're at both with the amount of asks that they've made, the suppliers that have committed, and the amount of money that they've confirmed. So we were able to generate competition and keep this top of mind and fun internally. And it was a great success that way. So really utilizing Rob, maximizing our access to him to keep people motivated. And then to celebrate success and to drive commitments to a deadline, Rob did host a special VIP reception for their business partners prior to our Executives with Heart event. So we had an evening event with food and networking for the larger Sacramento market, but we hosted a pre-event for these business partners, and that really helped us drive these verbal commitments to a close and also get additional commitments prior to that event. And then we also have had a lot of opportunities to build relationships with these great new partners by getting to know them through all of our conversations with them, building those relationships, as well as our internal partners. I think that was really key throughout this entire process, was getting to know our VSP owners, getting to know the business partners. And then I want to share some other thank yous we did with this. We did thank them especially with additional small touches that I think make a really big difference, and I think it's important that we continue to find opportunities to thank those that help us and to build relationships with the new people we're meeting.
So that sums up our $200,000 new vendor campaign, aka the Rob Lynch Initiative. We had a lot of fun working with VSP. We had a lot of fun coming up with these small cultivation pieces like this co-branded Padfolio.
Yes.
And really just sharing our mission with the vendors and our new partners, because it really broadened our scope. So thank you so much for listening to what we did that worked for us in our market, and we look forward to hearing about more vendor campaigns, and good luck with your initiatives.